Good morning, 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 and good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. We got an interesting morning already, y'all. We got an interesting morning already. Lord, got the Tampa Bay on his head. Leonard over there in Gatlinburg somewhere. I mean, I don't know what is going on around here, boy. I tell you. But good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. We got a great broadcast going on for you this morning. I like the topic, y'all. I like the topic we're going to talk about today. Some people gonna like it. Some people not gonna like it. But I think it's something that needs to be talked about because we get so caught up in it far too often. Anna, shift just a little bit. You off the scene. You off the screen. There we go, right there. Now, we all have fallen in love, been in love, and the person that we fallen in love with at that time in our life, we don't love them or we're not in love with them any longer. In some instances, some cases, we don't even like the people no more. I'm just gonna tell you, sometimes we don't in some instances people say I actually hate that person. Don't know what I'll think about even dealing with that person. So my question is this, Anna. How thin is the line between love and hate?
So when you say this, do you mean it in all those descriptions that you gave, or do you mean it more like the movie, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate?
No, in those descriptions that I take in life itself, how thin is the line? Because a lot of people say there's a real thin line between love and hate. How thin is that line?
So
because you could be in love with somebody, and
absolutely.
then at the snap of a hat, something could happen, and you can absolutely just hate that person, not care about them, and I know you won't do it, but have an idea of killing them on sight because you just hate them just that much. But
I've had those thoughts before.
See,
not with somebody I've been married to, but I had those thoughts before. I ain't even gonna lie.
But see, and that's the thing. How could you go from loving a person so much to now I hate them, I can't stand them, don't bring them around me. I will almost kill them on sight. How did we get there? How thin is that line in between love and hate? How thin is that line?
So I can answer for a woman because I'm sure that
your volume went out, Anna. Anna, your volume went out. Your volume went out on us.
Is it better?
Yeah, there you go. Much better. Go ahead.
Okay. So this can be different for Leonard as yourself. I can answer for a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Us women by nature, we're very nurturing, right? So we'll put up with a lot more. We'll put up with maybe you being, just an example, you being stingy with money and maybe not giving me enough for groceries if you're an at-home mom, or I needed help with the tire, but instead of you helping me, you told me to figure it out, so I had to figure out to get AAA. You wouldn't take the car to get towed, so I had to get back to work or take the kids back and forth to school. So I went ahead and I got a tow truck. So I think in the case of women, it is things that escalate and escalate and escalate. And I don't think that a woman, and I'm not speaking for every woman, I'm speaking for myself, I don't think a woman will ever hate you that much to where it's like, I just don't want to be around you. I just don't like, well, no, I take that back. Okay. Can we refer this to marriage? Would that be easier, Raheem?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I don't think in that sense a woman, when she marries you, will be like, okay, well, I want nothing else, to do with him. But at the same time, you got to tell yourself, if you keep doing things to this woman, your wife, that you so much love, that for better or worse, till death do us apart, sickness and health and all that good stuff, and you're not there, what do you expect? You don't help her with the kids and everything. What do you expect? All that piles up after how many years?
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's just my take.
But does that make you hate that person?
It could. In some instances, I know many people. I'll give you guys an example. I'll never say names. This person was with a military guy. Leonard, you might be familiar with that because of your military background, as I am with my military background. Most military people drink. They love to drink. This person was married to this man for 20 years. 20 years. So many things escalated and escalated and escalated, and she would cover up. She would iron his uniform, and she would tell me, it's like he's like Mr. Magoo. Everything works to his advantage. I don't get it, But at the same time, once that youngest child turned 18, they were like, "That's it, I'm done." Now they're happy as can be. But they put up with it because I guess they felt that responsibility to help him with his career at the same time to help with that youngest child to make sure they were raised. They had 3 children. Makes sense?
Okay. Good deal. And it does. Leonard, what do you say to that, man? Because I've seen situations where people has been, quote unquote, been so madly in love. Then life goes on and things happen in their life. And now you can't get them to be in the same room 5 minutes together without them at each other's throat and ready to hurt or harm and kill each other. I say kill each other. Maybe they're not going to physically kill each other, but kill each other. And so that leads me to wonder, how thin is that line, Leonard, between love and hate? What do you say to that?
It's not. I mean, it's hate is really, they're all emotions. And so you have to learn how to control your emotions. I think they both exist all the time. And one, it's just that one, you focus more on the love, and then a situation may occur to move that towards hate. So I think it's always on that scale. You can either go further into the love direction or further into the hate direction, whichever you choose. Not everyone who catches their spouse in a compromising situation or what have you hates them. That's not it. You may be hating what they're doing, but you're not hating the person. Like I love my children, but I completely dislike their behavior. The behavior is ridiculous sometimes. So I look at it that way. It's the behavior of the person that really changes that emotion. And one, I'm not sure that we all use love the same way. We use love to generally characterize our emotions for a person. But it's not the same love that God has for you.
Come on.
So if we have to understand that they're two different things. And I know people that's caught up in the Bible get to talking all that stuff about how God loved the church, and that's not the best analogy. Because one, there's no way you can be on that level. I don't believe. That's a huge path and journey to get to that point where someone can do whatever, treat you however, and you still love them. That's different than what we're talking about. I believe that relationship love that we have. It's easy to love somebody that's pleasing you,
doing what you want them to do.
But what about when they don't please you?
Yeah.
See, that's the issue. It's all these other things that we attribute to love. God don't love you because you so good or because you cute or because you're none of that.
Was it really love at all? If it's so conditional like that, was it really love at all?
Yes, it is love from a man's point of view, but it's not love from God's point of view. It's from your point of view. You set the rules and the parameters for your love, and everybody's may be different. That is very possible. It's a general concept, and we usually can get within that. Like Anna was saying, marriage brings it more into scope.
Come on.
Love has to be put into a scope. Don't let folks talk like my mother used to say, you can't love me no any kind of way. And that's what I'm talking about. Love within context is different. Like within a marriage, for instance.
Anna, do you think a person have to a lot of times teach someone how to love them? Because like you said, all loves are different. So do you think when you get into a new relationship with somebody else, do you have to pretty much teach that person and learn how to love that person?
I think a lot of times I've met some men, but overall women by nature try to do that. And that's where that expression comes. You can't change a person. You can't make a person love you. You see what I'm saying? Because what one may do for me, or the grass isn't greener on the other side. What one may do for me may not do for the other, because it's just a connection and a love that that person had for me, for whatever that connection was that we had with each other. That, I think that's why mistresses are so disliked, because it's that very thing. And a lot of times what you'll see is that what that husband will not do with the first wife, they'll do it with the second. But is it so much easier? Is it really so much easier? Because you got to worry about that guy.
Is it because they learned and they grew and they developed, or it's just the different experience with the different person?
I you know what? I don't know, because I've spoken to people and it gets on my nerves that they'll talk about how they're all good to this new person, but then when you talk to their first wife, they treated them like crap. And a first husband as well. I'm not, I'm very unbiased when it comes to that first husband as well. I was out cheating. I was doing this. I was doing that. So I think that a lot comes with that commitment. I think, it takes a lot of a lot from both ends. Now, one thing I will say, that when it comes to marriage, within the first 3 to 5 years, you're more in that la la land, if that makes sense. Correct? So you're more in la la land. You're like, anything for my Prince Charming, anything for my princess, whatever. After that hump, it's like, get up and do it yourself. I'm not going to cook today. I don't feel like cooking. And I think people forget that too. I think you need to rekindle that. Take you that weekend out. Leave everything behind. And we can't now with COVID-19, but just take a walk together, hold hands, talk about those good times, and rekindle that, because I think it's something that needs to be refreshed within all of us.
Leonard, one of our viewers on Facebook Live said, and I'm gonna post it back up here again, let you take a look at it. This is what they say right there: hate is the devil, love is Jesus. Do you agree with that?
No. 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 Because if you read the word, you will see examples of hate in the word. God specifically hates. And this notion that God is all love is looking at it from a man perspective. You have to understand that the word and how you perceive it may not be actually what it is. That's why I usually tell people, what you read, how do you feel about what you read? Are you getting any guidance or enlightenment from the Holy Spirit while you're reading? Because how you skip over what has been attributed to God in the word, and then come back and say the devil is all about hate. When it actually points out people who God hate by name. And we just don't know who those people really are, but we know that God had an issue with them, so much to the fact that it was recorded that he hated them. And as a matter of fact, his anger was so kindled against man that he destroyed all of them. Now, what could be worse than that? So the notion there obviously is something outside of our definition that is going on, and that we must, as from a study point of view and a research point of view, we have to look at it. When people talk about, like the comment, I ain't gonna never say the devil don't love nobody. The devil has characteristics as well. Some people would even say that those characteristics are a lot like God. And a lot of people can't accept the fact that God created the devil.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot there before you start attributing this to that and putting your man hat on and pushing stuff towards it. You should allow some enlightenment to come from the Holy Ghost, who was there, who's the only witness.
Come on.
So if you're gonna get in the word, get in it, but don't attribute things to God that you want to make your story sound better.
Make your little verbiage a little.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Anna, what's on your heart?
Leonard, you couldn't have it said that better, because I don't understand, because there's many times where our Father reprimands us in the Bible over and over again. So, with all due respect to whoever wrote that comment, because I didn't look at it, I just kind of read what was said. But with that being said, when you guys think of this movie, and I have a question for both of you guys, and because I like to hear it from a man's point of view. When you guys think of this movie, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate, right? So do you guys think she overreacted when she went off the way she went off? Or do you think that it was okay for him to play and do whatever it was that he was doing? I'm just curious.
She had extreme emotional problems.
Yeah, she did. She did.
He was pretty much just being what he was.
But he saw it though. He saw
that's what he was attracted to. He's a hustler.
Yeah.
But that's how it usually happens. A lot of times.
But Leonard, too, at the same time, I think that she had it was not only the things that he did, but a combination of people that has done her certain ways in the past, and all that came out toward him, because and when it came out toward him, he didn't know how to deal with it because he was a player. He just used to playing the game, hit it and quit it, going about his business. So he wasn't used to all that stuff. And
it ain't had to be all that. She was used to getting what she wanted and how she wanted it. And when it didn't work out that way and she couldn't have what she wanted, she started acting like a fool, like everybody else.
Who was more to blame for that?
Neither one was more to blame in that particular movie. It's not somebody was to blame away. She completely overstepped.
And he didn't?
No.
That's what I'm saying.
He didn't commit to that woman. He didn't tell that woman she was no more to him than just tricking off.
But let's look at this too now. Let's look at this too. She never got crazy to that point until he came and he said those three words that she so longed to hear. And he had this thing with Bobby Brown. I can't remember Bobby Brown's name in the movie, but he had this thing with Bobby Brown and his boys that they would never tell a girl, "I love you." They would never part those lips. Those words would never come off their lips, "I love you." And then he played the game and he got caught up in that moment.
It's a game.
And
his name was T.
Okay, his name was T. Thank you, Sherry. And he got caught up in that moment. And then she asked the question, and he reflected, and he said, "I love you." And when he said that, she went over the cuckoo nest. She lost every piece of her mind. Now she think, man, she sent the man a birthday cake and put a knife through the cake, man. Come on, man.
Man, I love you can almost work like an incantation. It casts a spell on women.
Good God.
Don't use them big words this early in the morning. Don't use them big words this early in the morning.
That's why a lot of smart men hesitate to use it.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like a spell. See, I can put you under my spell if I love you. If I know you that weak.
Why you look like that when you say that?
Because that's the way you do it.
Oh, okay. You had to play the whole part. I got you. Okay. Chris, good morning. Chris, how you doing this morning?
Good morning. I was doing good to Mr. Little started using these big words this morning.
Stop it, Chris.
I
wasn't ready.
I went to I went to www.webster.com trying to look that one up and see what he's saying. What is he saying?
But these are women. Let them tell you. They know when they caught. They, it's amazing to me. Like when I usually tease women with my friends, and I used to go behind my friends. Like if he's talking to you, I would go right behind. Don't let it go that easy. Don't let him get you that easy. Fight a little bit more. you know,
the hot blocker.
require a little bit more.
See, so I'm saying that's one of them haters right there. That's one of them haters right there. That's one of them haters. That's all hater. Man, what you doing over here, man? Come over here. We don't need you over here. I got this business on this side. You go on head on about your business, man. Go on head on. Let it go head on, man.
Oh yeah, man. If you're around me, I'm gonna make you step up.
Be like, man, look here.
I'm gonna make a guy step his game up.
Huh?
Then I have this one that's no wingman. He ain't gonna work out for you.
Exactly.
Never.
Come fly with me. Come fly with me.
Never.
Leonard go over there supposed to be helping y'all talking about, you know he lying to you, right?
Never.
You know he lying to you.
It's like I'm gonna tell you a joke. Okay, not a joke, but this is for real. And me and a friend of mine had this thing. Now we used to be always in school, so we used to study late at night and be in libraries or what have you. So the key was, if my friend, this is the way he would talk to a woman, and he would ask her, "Have you seen The Lion King?"
Mm-hmm.
A weem away, a weem away.
Yes, exactly. Because he loves that movie. And he would literally pick women up by inviting them over to watch The Lion King. And the joke used to be, like, if a couple nights later or whatever, if the girl is usually around or whatever, I'd laugh and like, "You seen The Lion King?" And that's how I know.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Leonard, you're not right.
And even after 20 years of being married, that still is a big joke to us.
Lord, my Jesus.
Because if there's a girl that we talk about, I'll say, "Did she see The Lion King?"
And you know what that means. You know what that means.
Back when it was a videotape.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Christy, let me ask you this question, Christy. We're talking about. Lord, look at Christy. Lord,
Shut up.
Chris, collect yourself. But Christy, we asking the question, how thin is the line between love and hate? Because I've seen people go from absolutely loving somebody, being in love, head over heels in love, and that's my boo. I love you. Ain't nothing. You're the best thing since butter pecan ice cream, and you know I love some butter pecan ice cream. And then they go from I can't stand that such and such and such. Ain't hitting on none. I don't know what I was thinking about when I was even doing. I kill him on strike. Kill him on strike. So yeah. So my thing, how thin is the line between love and hate?
Miss Steely, you keep on vibing with your son the way you do. You better bash Mr. Head in and think about heaven later. Okay. I have to go with my grandmama, and I use her because she taught me so much in her words. And my grandmother told me that love and hate is such a thin line between love and hate. She said you can hate somebody so much that you love them. And you can love somebody so much that you can hate them. And I didn't understand that because I was young when she told me that. I was like, no, Mommy, if I hate somebody, I hate them. I'm going to beat them up. I don't want to be around them. I hate them. But then as I got older, have you ever seen people that hate each other but end up together?
Yeah.
Because that hate was so strong that it brought up feelings of, I hate you so much that I care about you. I hate you so much that now I love you. And I've seen people love people. I've seen people love somebody spanking dirty drawers that got a boo-boo stain on it. And they love them. Yes, Cherry, with the boo-boo stain on it. They love them.
Stop. Skid marks.
Skid marks. But then when after they do something and they hate them so, then they want to talk about how nasty they are. And that's one thing I never do. If you talk about somebody you lay with, then you talking about yourself too. You know, because why were you with them? Because, you know, nobody changed. You know, my grandma used to tell me, a tiger don't change his stripes. Never change his stripes. So if you was with him and you was loving his nasty draws at that point, then you continue to love his nasty draws regardless of what happened. But you don't sit there and down, you know, you can't talk about somebody you lay with because, again, You lay with them.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's why I don't respect men. That's why I don't respect men who talk about their baby mamas or who talk about women that they lay with. Oh, she a B now. But when you try to hit it, oh, you beautiful. You the sun, you the rain, you the moon. Oh my God, you just
The
so
sun, the
beautiful.
moon, the stars, and the mountains.
I'll give you the word.
Okay.
Okay,
And when you go watch the Lion King, and you go watch the Lion King with Leonard and his homie, and you get gotten, you know, he can't get mad and talk about that one who want to see the Lion King because you know why you want Alpha to say, I know your father, you know.
oh Father, Sherry, what's on your heart, Sherry? How thin is the line between love and hate, Sherry? What do you say to that?
It's a very thin line. You
Mm-hmm.
get you caught up in a situation you can't shake. Got you butt
Come on
naked
here.
with some handcuffs on in the closet.
Sherry, hold on, Sherry. You know, hold on. Hey, hold on. Remember.
I'm just saying, you know that song that said that your daughter's tied up in the Brooklyn basement,
Sherry,
face it, not guilty.
Look here. Sherry forgot what she had. See, Sherry forgot what she had. See, Sherry, remember this? Remember the gospel station now. Remember
Jesus loved me. Jesus loved me. That's in the back of the Bible. That's in that extra that chapter they cut out because they said it was too many chapters. It came after Revelations. It came after Revelations.
All right.
Yeah. We gonna go with that. We gonna go with that.
Ladies, y'all losing yourself this morning, ladies.
I'm sorry, boss. It's today Friday. I'm sorry, boss.
The day's not Friday. The day's Thursday.
Oh snap! My bad. Okay, sorry.
Calm down. Okay, Anna, what's on your heart?
Hey, y'all. Y'all see the sign back there? You know, I got that banner up right there to remind everybody this is a Christian gospel station.
Me not speak English. Me not speak.
Parlez-vous français?
Huh?
Nah, she ain't saying that. She ain't saying that.
Oh.
She ain't saying that.
Parlez-vous français?
So all joking aside, have you guys seen couples that have been married so many years they don't even sleep on the same bed because even the snoring bothers them? The snoring, okay? That just even, like, I love watching couples that have been married for like 60, 70 years because like everything they do just bothers each other. They'd be like, I just hate you, you know? And I really think that they just really love each other so much from being together so many years. They're just like best friends. They just want to argue about everything just to argue. It's actually kind of cute, if you ask me. What's another one? Where's the keys? I don't know where the keys are at. You know where you always put the keys. You've been putting the keys in the same place for 20 years now. You know, that kind of thing. So to me, that's just kind of cute, you know? But things like the Lion King, like Leonard said, yo, that line would have never, ever picked me up. And I would have been even more mad if the homie came to the house the next day or a few days later and said, yo, you seen the Lion King? Because I would have really been mad. With that being said, I just the Lion King. I can't get past the Lion King.
Leonard,
the Lion King.
Leonard,
a weeb away.
Sherry, hold on, Sherry. Leonard, you see what you did, man.
But that was the movie. That was his movie, you know.
Yo, I'm gonna teach every little girl that I see anywhere, including the church. If a guy ever invites you to see the Lion King, bring a few friends along and tell them that it is nothing but a platonic friendship, because you are very church-going and good girl.
Yeah, that's any movie. That's any movie. Any movie.
You done ruined the Lion King.
Right here.
Yes.
Listen, do y'all remember In Living Color? I know I'm telling my age.
Yeah.
But y'all remember that scene where the two old people are together and they fight like cats and dogs, and then they say, "We still together."
Mm-hmm. That's
But
good.
they do all kinds of havoc and stuff, and then that's what Anna was saying, but they still say we still together, and they fight, they fuss, they beat each other up. They did some stuff in that scene. If anybody has seen In Living Color, and this is a PSA, if anybody has not seen The Lion King, I'm gonna post it on my page so you don't have to go to nobody else's house and watch it.
Okay, but see, my thing. Let's get back on top. We kind of veered off a little bit. Let's get back. We talking about a serious thing. Yes, let's make sure that we keep our focus on what we're doing here, because a lot of people need this, and a lot of people have gotten themselves caught up in a situation whereas that thin line between love and hate has really hurt, harmed, or has some people to the point where we want to kill each other, or even act on it. And so I think this is it's a little more serious than what we're taking it right now. Because like I say, that thin line could make the difference between whether somebody lived or somebody died. Then what do you say to that?
That's very true. However, like you said, it's about what men do. It's not about anything else. It's about, you know, how thin the line is between love and hate or whatever. I believe in personal responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
If you made it up in your head, you made it up in your head.
Mm-hmm.
If ain't nobody told you they love you, they don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the issue, and people that in that particular movie, Hold
on 1 second. Sorry to cut you off. Let me ask you this question right here though. In that movie, they were playing a game. We know what they was doing. All them guys, they was playing a game. They were just going out there trying to capture and pursue and capture. That's
same game played out here.
Yeah, same game. But should a person take a certain responsibility when they tell somebody, you know, when they get to the point where they say I love you? Because some people, like, and from what you said, Leonard, a lot of women can't control when somebody say that to them, they can't control the emotions and everything that goes into that. So should a guy take a responsibility before he say that to her, to realize or think about exactly the magnitude of what he's saying and what that can do to her?
Well, no, because once again, for some reason, you devaluing the judgment of the female.
Mm-hmm.
The female has a responsibility as well.
But you said, and I'm speaking on what you said. You said that she can't handle that. She get all gooey-eyed when a man says that, and that's what I was speaking on.
Yeah, but that's her fault. That's her fault.
Mm-hmm.
You have to protect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
They out to do that anyway.
Capture.
So if you know it, you should do better.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain women who tell you they love you for nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
And you ain't did nothing special for them.
Mm-hmm.
You just following the script that you usually follow. You don't care nothing about them. You don't show them no extra or nothing. But for some reason, they love you.
Mm-hmm.
It goes both ways. It's not really that one-sided. However, I do believe that women have a weakness that is made evident in scripture about this unusual longing after a man. And this weirdness that can be easily perverted because of a man.
Women, because one of the things women always tell me, I'm gonna go out there and find my Boaz. I'm gonna find my Boaz. And
yeah,
Boaz was an old fellow, wasn't he? One Boaz kind of old.
Well, but I mean, I think every woman would like a situation like that. But you know, it's a great dream, especially for women who are in the scripture. But we know that a lot of that time has passed, and that was for a specific reason and a specific purpose for why that occurred. And so, yes, we use it as a example. However, the example is kind of is very undesirable, and to a point, because one, you have to think of Boaz was a king.
Yes, he was.
We don't really have that like that way. Ruth's whole purpose, well, I mean, Ruth was in a very distraught situation. She knew what loss was. She probably was at a depressed state. We never knew, you know, the condition of that. That was God working a plan. Not necessarily Ruth working a plan or Boaz's plan. It was God's plan. So when we put ourselves in these positions, we have to look at certain things. And this is why we make so many mistakes, is because one, we think that we can look at the Bible and look at a story and act like that story is us. But when it's really just a example, you know, we can use it as an example of an emotion. But when you talk about love and hate, it's love and hate is just that. It appears a certain way. It'll happen a certain way. You got people swear they love a woman that they beat every day. I don't know if he love her or not. I know it don't look like it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he thinks about love or what he thinks love is.
Let me let me do it. I want to say good morning to Curtis. Good morning, Kurt.
Good morning, Kurt.
And unmute your phone, Kurt, because I want to hear you answer when you say that. When you answer me this.
Morning, family. How y'all doing?
Let me ask you a question, Kurt. Man, what kind of cup you got there, man? with a cartoon cup, man. What is that, man?
You need a Tampa Bay cup, a Bucks cup.
Don't do it.
Y'all better stop nodding your head. No.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Hey, Kurt, let me ask you a question about what we're talking about this morning, Kurt. We're talking about how thin is the line between love and hate. And we're referencing the movie, a thin line between love and hate. We're referencing that movie, but at the same time, you could be so much in love with the individual at one moment, and then at the flip of a coin, you could not stand that person, you know, totally hate that person, or even kill that person. So how thin is that line between love and hate?
It's extremely thin, right? That's probably why the two go together. When you realistically think about it, you can't have one without having the other. You know, it's like saying wet and dry, or cold and hot. You know, they go together.
So how could you explain to me how could you have both at the same time for the same person? How can you have love and hate for that same person?
You know, I never really understood that, Raheem. Honestly, and to the panel, I never really understood that. Like I come from a household in a place where if you love somebody, you love them. You love them
unconditionally.
And you love them, yeah, unconditionally, and in spite of, not because of, and notice I use those two words, because of and in spite of, because the way that my grandma taught me was, if you really love somebody, then you'll love them as Christ loved the church. I don't love you because you can do, or because you have done, or because you have the ability to do, or because you will eventually do. I love you in spite of your faults, in spite of your fallacies, in spite of all things. So because I was raised like that, the idea of hating even my enemies, man, just don't play well into who I am as a character. Now I see people do it all the time. I know people that can genuinely like hate somebody, you know, and when we have a conversation, I always say to them, well, why do you hate this person? So what is it that makes you hate this person or this situation? And they always, if you pay real close attention to it when you ask, you get a whole reason why they hate themselves. You never really find out why they hate that person. When you go, if you go deeper into it, you'll see that there's a certain level of self-hatred there for themselves.
Do you think they hate what that person feels in them?
I think what they hate is, I think there's a good chance that a person can, I mean, being in that situation personally in the past and not really understanding and having those moments of weakness, I think that person can hate what the consequences and or what the situation does for them, because they have done that. They have done that same thing. It's like, I tell you something I learned a while ago. Before I got married, right?
Mm-hmm.
I had a young lady tell me, she said, if you sitting around some females and you know, and y'all talking or whatever, and you decide to start liking one, she said the worst thing, forgive me ladies, this is no disrespect, but she said the worst thing a lady can do to you is tell you, a man for that matter, is tell you, yo, I don't like nobody to lie to me. And I said, what? I said, well, I mean, that's just telling you what she want. And she said to me, she said, you ever thought about why that is? And I said, well, no. She said, well, because most of the time that person has lied to so many people at some point in their life that they know how that felt.
Mm-hmm.
They know the feeling that it created in the other person, and they don't never want to feel that. It's like a thief. Know he a thief, but he don't like nobody to steal from him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like a man who know he's a whoremonger, but he don't like for his girl to have outside affairs.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
That's what I'm saying. It's the hypocrisy. It really ties into the hypocrisy of life, man. People just can be so hypocritical sometimes that, you know what I mean? Like that hate will come in and just completely destroy or push to the side that love. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm just one person, man.
Good deal. Let's keep this thing going. Anna, what's on your heart right now?
So a few things. So Leonard, you know, he mentioned something about a guy telling you that they love you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like I have an echo, and I'm trying to see if it's one of my devices here. But so, you know, I think women want to hear that, because a lot of women, and I've tried not to raise my daughters like this. They wait for that Prince Charming. They wait for that special man that's supposed to go sweep them right off of their feet. That's why a lot of times they're deceived, right? Mm-hmm. So, but there's a lot of guys that want to hear "I love you" too. I have met people that been like "I love you," and I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. what do you? I can't just tell. Like, for me, when I tell my Morning Glow family, I tell you guys, you know, I love you guys. I genuinely do, for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. I can't tell. So for me, I don't understand how easy it is for a woman to be manipulated into saying, I mean, I could see it, but I can't see it, into the whole "I love you," and then, ooh, now I'm in love with you. Now all of a sudden we're going to get married. That man didn't say nothing about no marriage or nothing. He just said, "I love you." And "I love you" can mean many things. I love you like a sister. I love you like a friend. So I just think, women, put up your standard, because it ain't that easy to, not a woman like me. You're not going to manipulate me that easy. Mm-hmm. And I try to teach this to women around me. And Kurt, if I understood this correctly, I was trying to listen in. When you said that the woman, an older woman, told you about a lady saying, you know, "Don't ever lie to me," that it was because she'd been lied to in the past. Did I understand that correctly?
Well, you just about got it. What she was trying to teach, well, what she was teaching me, I didn't know what she was trying to teach me. What she was teaching me was, be careful and keep your eyes open for the person that make a bunch of requests that may be hurtful to other people. The reason why they're making that request is because they have been the sole proprietor of causing that hurt. They have had the opportunity to see what that hurt can do to another person, so they don't want it to happen to them.
Mm-hmm. So that's a Jezebel.
That's what pretty much.
That's a Jezebel.
Bingo,
right?
bingo. You hit it right on the head.
So I mean, thinking about it on a spiritual standpoint, and I'm sorry for interrupting you, Curtis. That is a Jezebel spirit. So again, it's a very thin line. Watch what you tell women out there, because like I said, Leonard he hit it on the nose. But women, you got to also be a little bit smarter than that. That not everybody that tells you they love you loves you the way that you want to be loved. If you need to seek counseling, I constantly say this: seek a Christian counselor at that to help you out. Okay, if there's things that you misunderstand within your head, seek that help. Curtis, he's absolutely right. You will hear people say all the time, "Don't hurt me because of this and that and that." But then look at their background and look at how they've done other people, and then I'll tell you a different story. Or even go a little bit further. This is something my mom taught me, and I wish I would have listened to her, and I try to teach my girls this. Tell me who the pedigree is, and the pedigree is who that family is, and I'll tell you who you're marrying.
Good deal.
Don't ever forget that.
Good deal. Sherry, what's on your heart, Sherry?
Yeah, I had sent you a message, but I don't talk about this that often, but I have two friends that were murdered because they were in an abusive relationship, and I have a friend that she was shot by her husband. Her daughter was, and she's still living, but it was my friend. I used to work with her. Her name is Candace Camellia. We call her Coach.
Okay, don't call the name on air though. Don't call.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Well, I used to work with her, and it was a situation, and it got bad, and her life was taken, and they post stuff regularly about her, but she was killed. What was it? February 2015, and I remember when I saw the post on Facebook, and I was like, wait a minute, who, what, where, what going on? And then they told me it was her, and I'm like, I was just like, that hurt my soul because that was my homie. We shared a different, relationship. We would like be having like little sly remarks here and there. People thought we were fighting, but we just had that type of relationship. And then I think later on that it was either later that year or the year after, another friend was murdered by her husband in her mother's house. On the floor, he shot her execution style because he was a Muslim. He had a lot of mental problems. He went to jail. People were, abusing him in that way. I don't want to go into that, but he was being abused repeatedly. And then he got out. He was messed up in the head, and he found Allah in prison, and he wanted to take another wife. She said no. They got to tussling, fighting, or whatever. He shot her in her mom's house on the living room floor. And that happened crazy. It happened on the birthday of my first friend that got killed. But when I found out like that February, because her and we lost contact along the way. But I knew her growing up in the hood in Detroit. But it's like looking back on it, it's just the fact that, life is short and you have to be mindful, whatever. It's like I'm pretty sure it was signs there, but I noticed that women, they hold on to relationships because they don't want to be alone. They see the warning signs, and I mean, I saw some warning signs. It wasn't that bad, and necessarily I didn't want to be alone. It's just I had kids, and I didn't know how to, remove myself from that situation. But I had to realize that a person can tell you they love you over and over again, but that does not mean they really love you. Like I had to tell my husband, I don't like your type of love. Your type of love hurts. I don't know what type of love it is, but that's not what I like. And that's not what I had married into. That's not what it was in the beginning. It like kind of changed along the way. And looking back on it, you can't really write the past. You just have to move on and grow from there. I like I said, I've learned from my past, and I plan on doing better. And there's some things that I have to fix as far as my relationship with my kids. I wasn't an absent mother, but it was some things that they saw and heard that was not pleasing to me. And I just have to do what I have to do to make sure that their well-being will be better going forward. But yeah, that I try to block that out my mind about my friends that were murdered, because that was not a cool situation. It was all over the news. It was ridiculous, the whole situation.
Exactly.
And
Sometimes, I hope you hear my heart when I say this to you, Sherry. Sometimes an individual, when they go through a traumatic situation like that, you need to go and actually talk to somebody and get some kind of counseling to help through that, through those issues. Because if you're not careful, if you're not real mindful of it, you know, you'll carry that, and not saying you particular, I'm just saying an individual would carry that and the rest of their life, that pain will remain there. And if you don't deal with it, recognize and identify what it is and move away from it, it'll hold you hostage. What do you say to that, Anna? Quickly. Anna, what you doing over there? Anna?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Anna, you write a story, you write a book?
I don't know what I don't know, but that's absolutely true. And Raheem, I do agree with you. I always say it on air: seek counseling, especially from a Christian. Seek counseling from a Christian person, because if you seek it from other people, they might not be on your same level. And this is a Christian station. I wanted to remind everybody real quick, if you guys could. We're missing on your phone calls. We want to hear your comment about this thin line between love and hate. Call us at the station 678-381-1973 so that we're able to hear what you have to say. Again, it's 678-381-1973. Thank
Good
you.
deal. Good deal. Christy, what's on your heart?
This became very heavy real quick. I just want to say, and I want to remind, some people are just in love with being in love. They just want to say, I love you. And it don't matter if it's a couch or what. They just love to hear those words. And we have to be careful that we're not hung up on words. But my grandma used to always tell me, if it walk like a duck, if it look like a duck, it's a duck. So if somebody tell you they love you, but they have no action behind it, because one thing we have to remember, love is an action word.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And if love is an action word, then love has to be shown. I can tell Leonard I love him all day, and I don't show him 1 ounce of love, then he should not believe the words that are coming out of my mouth. That I have proved to be a liar. And what Kurt said, I want to touch on that. It's always said, and I don't believe it's because I say it too. I cannot stand 2 things I tell my kids I do not like, and that's a liar and a thief. Everything else I can handle, but a liar and a thief, because a liar would never tell me the truth. A liar would do things and try to sneak and hide it, and I can't help a liar. And it's not that I lied a lot. It's because I've been lied to a lot, and I didn't like the way it was felt. Not that I lied and made somebody else feel some way. So I'm like, courage, sometimes you have to look at why people say things, because they do show you some signs. And to hit on what Sherry said, I'm just saying a lot because I'm about to go. To hit on what Sherry said, because it touched my heart, it's a saying that I read on Facebook, and it was a hand reaching out, holding on something, and the hand was bloody, messed up, and it just looked awful, but the other person's hand was untouchable. And it says sometimes we hold on to the things that hurt us the most instead of letting go and get it. And I just want to tell everybody, don't hold on to something that's tearing you up on the inside. And then that's for our abused women, domestic violence, men and women that's in domestic violence. That is not love. Love doesn't hurt. And I'm like Anna and Raheem, please seek counseling. If you can't get away because you're scared of your life, then start making a plan. Start doing things to get away. Because I've been in domestic violence. I understand you have to break away at some point, and you have to find a way or a plan to get yourself away. And we as women do hold, we are taught even as kids, and as women, you are nothing without a husband. You have to have a husband. Your main goal in life is to get married, have children. If you want a career, you can put that in there too. But I teach my children differently. And I teach them that not only do you want a man in your life, you want a man in your life, but it's not a necessity to have. If you want to have one, if you want to meet somebody that's going to treat you right, be selective, because you are jewel. You're precious. You are a princess. And not everyone know how to treat a princess, and not everyone know how to treat pearls. You can't give your pearls to a swine and think it's gonna be free. So
Come
if
on.
you throw your pearls in the mud of hogs, they just gonna trample over and not understand its value. So
Mhm.
to all my people that listen to the panel, you have to understand your worth. You have to understand that you're worthy of love, and you cannot accept anything less than love. And if you're being hurt or abused, there's a 1-800 domestic violence line. You can call DKM Radio. You can hit any one of us up on Facebook,
Mhm.
on Messenger. You see our names, just look us up. If you're reaching out for true help, there's help out there for you.
Good
I
deal.
love you guys.
They love you
I
as
gotta
well.
go to work. I probably will call in because I love to sing. So if y'all hear me on the phone, y'all, it's me. 318 all day. And since Anna gave her a shout out, I'm gonna give a shout out to my saints.
Hey, look here, man. Hey, man, look here, man. Look here, man. Leonard, what's on your
Yeah, boo.
Leonard? See how y'all doing? See how y'all doing? All right, get it back on track. Leonard,
Hey,
what's on your
Y'all
heart?
need y'all hats.
What's on your heart, brother? We putting a lot out there, man. And this love hate thing, man. It's a lot, and it goes very very deep. I was ready to call on Kirk, but Kirk had a look on his face. I said, no, I ain't gonna call that brother right now. No, sir. But Leonard, what's on your heart?
I like everything Christy said
Mm-hmm.
because it made so much sense. Also, it's good to hear Kurt's point of view as a male.
Mm-hmm.
Because one thing that I can tell you, I was not exposed. I don't even know how I was exposed to. I just didn't have I didn't care for it. I didn't care for relationships.
Mm-hmm.
So I never had boyfriend girlfriend relationships and things like that. So I never got invested so much into a person where they possessed me this way.
Mm-hmm.
So and I never wanted it. I never wanted to deal with a possessive situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a woman checking on me. I don't want a woman trying to dictate to me anything like that, especially then. So I was not interested in clinginess and things like that. Most of my relationships with women, hey, let's go have a good time.
Yeah.
Because I don't want a bad time with you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to struggle with you. I don't want to know about your past lives.
Mm-hmm.
That's not interesting to me. To me. Now, if I'm going to do that, that means I need to be. I'm courting.
Yeah.
I mean, this investment into people that don't invest in you, it's not good. And then you sitting there, especially a lot of women. I can't believe he did this to me. Why not? Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Why you can't believe he did it? He do it to everybody else. You knew his baby mamas before you.
Come on.
So that was something like my mother used to always say, even with domestic violence, because my mother was very strict about certain things, and she used to always tell women in these relationships, first of all, we need to address the sickness in you that makes you want that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we can cure what's wrong with you, that's going away.
Mm-hmm.
So there is something about it. And I say it's a sickness to love someone and to be so invested in someone else and allow someone else to possess you this way with love.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's, to me, is something that is an issue that a lot of relationships and things like that and all this foolishness occurs. It's a big money making subject on television. I mean, it's all that. And that's what makes it so destructive.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about love, hate, blah, 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 love and hate are two emotions that aren't going to change.
Yeah.
And so it's something that we need to invest in, especially, like she said, teaching her daughters what it is, teaching your children what it really is. Or one, I don't even understand how it's so girlish. That's the only other word I have for it.
Good
to
deal.
Fall in love with someone like that. It's completely irresponsible.
But see, the thing about it, and we touched on this earlier, and Curtis, coming to you with this. Everybody want to be and have a real, strong, powerful desire to be loved. And sometimes we seek it out in the wrong places for the wrong reasons and at the wrong times in our life. What do you say to that, Kurt?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Without a doubt. But Leonard, say the last thing you just said, because you spawn a frame of mind for me. Could you repeat the last thing you just said?
I believe the last thing I just said had to deal with being possessed this way by some other person.
Thank you.
And see, that's what it is to me. And what I truly believe, when I don't, it's funny to talk about and laugh and joke, but it's not really the way men destroy women's lives like this. This is not cool at all, bro.
At all.
I'd rather, I'm the type of cat, I ain't never did nothing like that to no woman. So, I say, I mean, if I was women who have known me would say, man, he's not going to get involved with you like that. It is what it is. If he just want to have dinner and get in the bed, that's what he gonna tell you. I'm not up here trying to sell women something. I never have been. I never wanted to trick them or anything. And I don't even, and when men like that, it's not cool to me, man.
I understand what you're saying, but a younger me back in the day, I wanted to trick them.
Exactly. I mean, it's almost like people are trained to do that.
Yeah, I wanted me and my boy, we wanted to trick them, and we used to do what we could do to trick them. Boy, look at him.
Right.
Bro, look. We try to trick them, boy.
And I didn't realize it was different until I would go out with my friends.
Yeah.
And you know how you play the wingman.
Yeah.
So, it's cool to get along with, but they would ask my friends, is he always that way? I mean, he wanted your friend. I didn't want you.
Yeah.
So I kick it with you, but it ain't nothing.
May I say something?
Yes, go ahead.
And you fellas do not think that women didn't do the same thing when y'all were
exactly.
I don't care.
You mean they trick me?
Snitch on everybody.
Right, exactly.
That's slicky woo woo.
I feel used. They trick me.
I'm glad.
Y'all got used to, and they used to talk about all of y'all.
Right.
That.
I'm glad she mentioned that because I remember, man, Big Kurt told me, God bless the dead, I miss you, man. Big Kurt told me, he said, hey, look, Ben Kenobi. Say, let me just tell you right now. I said, yeah, what's up, Daddy? He say, boy, you're a McNeil. I say, okay, well, I know that much. He said, boy, you ain't got to ask for nothing. I said, what you trying to say, man? He said, let me tell you a little something about women. So I'm looking at him like, man, what is this dude ready to say out this? Because my daddy could get a little graphic with his with his analogies.
That's slicky woo woo.
Yeah, he was slicky woo. He was super slicky woo woo. He was slicky woo woo, Power Ranger slicky woo woo. He say, look, boy. He say, when you go to the club, right? He say, let me tell you something about a woman. A woman come through the door, she already know who she gonna talk to, who she ain't gonna talk to, who she gonna give her phone number to, who she ain't gonna give her phone number to, who she gonna lay with, who she ain't gonna lay with, and who might have a chance. I say, so you trying to tell me everything predetermined? He said, yeah, man. He said, the bigger the headache, the bigger the pill. You just got to be the pill, baby.
Hey, Kurt laughing, but that is so true. It's
Lord
so
have
true.
mercy. What a holy roll at.
But
you know, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, like El was saying, man, look, man. At the end of the day, my thought has always been, if you use love to manipulate and or trick anybody, in any situation.
Bad news.
Or female, because I'm saying male, and I'm not even saying that on a homosexual level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that even on a friendship level.
Mm-hmm.
Use love as a means to trick and or manipulate, you teetering with death. Because, like, I remember I had a situation, Raheem, where, okay, where I'm from, if somebody asks you, for example, to be their child's godparent,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm from, even though we in the street and we sinning, that's real, that's genuine love right there. That, like, that's real, that's something real going on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's almost like me cutting my hand and Leonard cutting his hand, and we shake hands to that's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I had that happen, and then the dude that asked me to do that was behind my back, you know, like saying some things about me to a young lady. And then it came to me because the young lady was hurt. So she decided to bring it to me immediately. So when she brought it to me, what she was saying, I couldn't say she was lying, so I couldn't defend him because she was saying exactly what I said to him. You see what I'm saying? And we had this conversation with me and him. But the feeling of hurt that I felt, like I really wanted to smash yo.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like put it all on the line and just go it on it and really hurt him. And that's when I realized that, you know, this love thing, man, you know, if you utilize love to manipulate and or trick, to deceive, this, that, and the third, and if you look at it in spiritual texts,
It's wicked.
even in just regular texts and contemporary writing, when love is used as a means to manipulate, trick, and or deceive, the only alternative is always death. I'm just throwing it out. I don't.
So that really narrows down that line that we're talking about. How thin is the line between love and hate? That actually narrows that line a lot more when you say it and when you put it in that way. We have a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Let me caller.
Yes, sir.
Bishop.
Too soon, sir.
I don't too soon.
Donna, how thin is the line between love and hate, sir?
How thin is paper?
Say it again.
How thin is paper?
How thin?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Thin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard in it's just me now. In even relationships, even marriages, sometimes, most of the time, until we get it right, to distinguish the love and the hate situation, because we don't develop an agape type love. We have affectionate, and I ain't gonna try to go into the, trying to play like I'm smart, trying to explain the different types of love. I'm not gonna go there. But what I'm saying is it's conditional because it depends on what are you doing. Because I've heard couples say, "I love you, but I can't stand you."
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like you today. Or you make me sick. And those words does some damage, even when you don't really mean it. And then it's brought back up at a later date and makes that door revolving. But when we get it right, it's good. But it's thin, because there are some people that and that's what it did. I thought I was madly in love with him until the year was over with. And then, you know, you some people you thought you had a relationship or friendship with, and then you know you want to choke them to sleep.
Yeah.
You know, so it's thin. It's thin until you learn what love really is.
And that's exactly
and one more thing. And it's not, and I say this on the behalf of some men, because we are.
What happened to Raheem? What's going on?
What happened? Well, I guess we got to continue on the show until he comes back, right?
Yes.
Or do we get off right now? What y'all think?
No, we continue the show.
Okay, so Anna, you want the way you want me to do it? I can't hear
you, Kurt.
Okay.
You couldn't have it said that better. I've been thinking that for a while, especially in the Latino culture. And the Arabic culture, they had no problem with killing you, especially in the love triangle. So you hit it on the nose. I've been thinking it for a while, but I didn't want to go there because I didn't want people to think us Latinos are crazy. You know, I'm sure AJ told you before, they ain't got no problems. That's the most murders they got in Puerto Rico. Got to do with love triangles. You know what I'm saying?
Crime of passion, they call it, I guess, for the most part. Crime of passion.
Well, now hold on, y'all. Let's put this out here now.
Okay.
Crime of passion, if you do it right then.
Okay.
And if you only do it once, meaning if you have a gun, you fire one shot. If you have a knife, and we should be talking about this, but if you have a knife, you stab one time.
Okay.
But if you have a gun and you empty the clip, after that first shot, maybe that second shot, I think it's no longer a crime of passion. Now it's
that's like most that I guess that fall under the category as premeditated, which you know that's basically life without parole. Because I know someone who's
One thing I did promise myself, and I was going to mention this, you know, when he called back on me, but since, you know, we're having technical difficulties anyways. One thing I promised myself was I will never put myself in a situation where I'm that vulnerable again. If I feel, I don't care, I don't need anybody in my life. And Christy hit it right on the nose. I have taught my daughters, one, and my sweet princesses, not to tell y'all business, but one has majored in psychology and the other one is going to go to school, and the ones that have met her in person know she's going to be a cardiologist.
Okay.
I have told my daughters, you take care of yourself. Don't let no man control nothing. Get houses in your own name. Get your cars in your own name. That way, if he want to put you out, hey, Leonard, he could put you out and he could put himself out because he ain't putting you out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Have that self-esteem. Now, don't overrun a man, because you've also got to know that God's law says it's God, it's that man, and it's you. But you take care of yourself, because you don't ever want to go through what I went through. And what I went through was literally HELL on earth.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You don't want to put yourself in that. And we're back. Yay!
Yeah, but like you were saying, and I was in the same situation. I was told if I don't like it, I can get out. I chose to leave. Because you're not gonna tell me, oh, this is my house and you gotta go. Okay, fine, I'll leave. But at the end of the day, we get a divorce, I get half. So it is what it is.
Hold on, ladies. Hold on, y'all don't want. Hold on. Y'all don't want a totally different direction.
No, we did not. We on the same topic. You just got back in.
Hold on.
Let me say something. That's where I'm different. You know what? If it does go to those grounds, which that for me is the absolute last alternative. If it does get there to divorce, I'm one of these women that if the law says you have to give it to me, okay, you give it to me. But I'm not intentionally going for half. Okay? I don't. It is what it is. If we built it together, honestly, you know what the truth is. You know that it's rightfully both of ours. You know what I'm saying? But if this man or this woman had everything already, you have no right to be wanting half of that. Why?
Hold on now. Hold on. No. Yeah, hold on. I got something.
I'm on Mary J. Blige's
Hold on. I need to catch up, Curtis. Catch up to speed where we at. What we talking about, brother? Because something ain't well with my goat right.
We was trying to tell you, but you cut us off.
Hold on, Sherry. Go ahead, Kurt.
Well,
You don't know, do you? Go ahead, Larry.
I'm trying to think where we picked it up at, because we was
passion.
They talking about passion.
Yeah. It bled over to, certain things weren't turning out to be a crime of passion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, because sometimes people call themselves being in love, and when that love turns to hate, it can be a crime of passion, and you know what I mean? Like, now you wind up really hurting somebody. We just kind of picked up where you had left off, but we was just having dialogue, man.
Kurt, you better tell the truth. He was giving pointers that if you only do it one time.
Oh yeah, I forgot that part. You know how if it's a crime of passion, like if you walk in the house and your lady is sleeping with another man, you reach over immediately, you grab your gun, you fire one time. That can be considered a crime of passion. But if you empty that clip, it's no longer a crime of passion. Most states' laws and regulations.
What if I'm very passionate?
Huh?
What if I'm very passionate?
No, in most states, once you squeeze that trigger more than once, it is no longer a crime of passion. That is murder, because you did not have to. It's like it becomes like almost like, I think, murder one, because you did not have to shoot this person that many times. You know what I'm saying? Like you went from it being a passion and your feelings being hurt to now you maliciously attempted to you maliciously murdered this man or this woman. Same thing with a knife. If in some states, if I'm not mistaken, if you walk in that situation and you stab them once, then if you stick them once, that can be considered a crime of passion. But the minute you stick them 37 times, nah, that's on a whole nother.
I call that temporary insanity.
Yeah, me too. And I call that a flashback.
I call that cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah, for real. For me, man, let me tell you something, man. Here's how
I'm with you, Raheem.
Here's how I was raised, man. I was raised. I was raised. No, you're not. I know you. I was raised at and call it like I was raised by Dr. King and Malcolm X. One grandmama was Malcolm X. One grandmama was Dr. King. My Dr. King always raised me. You don't have no right to life. What gives you the right to take another man's life? You didn't create it. You see what I'm saying? You didn't create that. Now, if you got to make adjustments to his life, then you make the best adjustments you can. But don't you take him out of here. That's not your job.
You don't care to cut an arm or leg off.
No, she would let me know, like she even told me, and she was a pastor. Like my grandma Minnie was the pastor.
Yeah.
Back in the day, and she told me, even when it came down to women, she was always real with me about, look, now, don't you let no woman be beating on you. I don't care who she is. She don't have no rights, lights, and or benefits to be putting her hands on you. If she don't you hit her, but you give her a good body slam and she'll get off you. She won't mess with you no more. You put her back on that ground, she won't mess with you no more. she told me things like that. And Raheem, I swear, I understand that ain't no man supposed to be hitting no woman. I do not condone that. But listen, man, I have seen situations where the female is not only beating up on the dude, but have the unmitigated gall to spit in his face. And when he smacked all the fire out her, all of a sudden now,
Fire.
I'm calling the police. What? You just, I'm saying literally, dude is leaking out of both sides of his mouth, leaking out his nose, and she done leaked them open in his ear.
Kirk, most people call it bleeding.
He wasn't bleeding.
Remember,
Man,
he's
listen,
got
I done
medical
seen it to where
training.
dude was
His medical
leaking.
background.
He was literally doing a class 3, Raheem.
He was hemorrhaging.
Yeah, and then you know when you got blood coming out your ear, that's severe, man. That's real.
Severe.
Yeah,
that's right.
Let me do this, Jim. We got another phone call. I want to be mindful of the respective people's time. We have a caller from the 321 area code. 321 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good morning, and this is Tanya.
Hey, Mama.
Good morning.
That's one of my high school friends. I love you.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
I had to call in for this one.
I know you did. I know you did.
Now we're talking about how thin is the line between love and hate. How thin is the line between love and hate? And before you answer, I want to thank you for calling in. Thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it.
A big hug to you.
So how thin is the
I'm
line?
sorry?
How thin is the line between love and hate?
For me,
Yes.
woo! That makes the hair stand up on top of my neck, to be honest with you, because I'm dealing with a situation right now, and that's what I'm going through between love and hate. When someone, for me, I love someone so hard, so passionate, I'm so deep when I love you. But when I feel like you taking me for granted, it's like, you know what? You done got into my heart like the Grand Reaper yourself, and you done got in and you done did so much damage to me. You done hurt me from the beginning. Still currently, I'm speaking of two individuals that I know currently, and I'm like, you know what? I don't hate nobody. You are forcing me to hate you by your actions. You understand? Because people actions, they don't realize the things that they do to you over time, it builds up. It's like bricks. It's like you're building a house. And it's like, okay, I'm building all these bricks of, excuse my French, shit. I keep building up all this shit on somebody else's shit. And I have my own shit to deal with, but I'm not dealing with my own.
You can't curse on the station.
Latoya, is it Latoya or Tanya? What's your name?
Tanya.
Tanya, they call me everything.
Okay. Well, Tanya,
yeah.
we're gonna call you a saint today, because you can't be dropping them words. There's a gospel station, sister. There's a gospel station, sister. We love
what you say now? My heart is so overjoyed, overfilled. It is so like, I feel like, and I'm a child of God, I feel like, you know, I have faith, I believe in the Lord, and I could feel what he was feeling when he was going through that walk. And I said, I'm going to keep walking by faith. You're going to keep driving me crazy, trying to make me think I'm crazy, along with this pandemic we have going on. But however, I am still your mother. However, you will not treat me any kind of way just because you feel entitled. That's the problem. A lot of people feel entitled to, oh, you're going to give me this, you're going to give me that. No, you're going to work for what you want. When I grew up, I had to work at 15 years old. You understand me? It wasn't no give me this, give me that, a sense of entitlement. So it turns into hatred they have towards you because they feel like, oh, she's not giving me what I want. You know what? It's time to wake up and put your big girl and big boy panties on and get to work. Because we got work to do. We still got work to do as parents, as counselors, as moms, as dads, kids, to build. I'm trying to build, but yet you trying to make me hate you at the same time. Where they do that at?
Tanya, let me ask you a question. Tanya, I'm gonna ask you a question, and we're gonna move along. I want to bring some more people into the conversation. Don't hang up. Stay with us, because I'll tell you something. I need to ask you a question all the time. What in the world is boy panties?
Better leave my friend alone.
What is boy panties?
That's big girl, big boy panties. Just put them on, stop whining, and just big girl, big boy.
Boy panties? Where you get boy panties at?
Where did she come from? Oh my God.
They don't have the little Fruit of Looms on the little, they got the
I know that's right.
With the Tonka trucks on it, got the Tonka trucks on it.
Put those big boy drawers on and leave them little Fruit of Looms around what?
It got the Tonka trucks on there.
I can't with you.
Everybody, hold on for a second. Hold on, y'all got my head hurt over here. Y'all hold on for a second now. Leonard, Leonard. Okay, you ain't never seen don't even ask the question. Don't even ask. Okay. Don't even come to
me. Metrosexual.
I ain't no metro. No.
You're so funny.
Lord, my Jesus. Sherry, what's on your heart right now? Sherry, all right, Sherry, don't get wild on me.
I just want to know where she came from. Hi, how you doing? But yeah, just to piggyback. Well, no, I can't really touch that. I'm just gonna say we do need to do better, and we have to stop taking people for granted, and basically it goes back to treat me the way you want to be treated. You don't want me to treat you like crap, so don't treat me like crap. You want crap, I give you crap. You want nice and loving, Sherry.
Is that the Detroit Sherry talking right now?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. I'm building that too. So you may have a choice. Life is about free will. Do you want nice, loving, God-fearing woman that Sherry is, or do you want her to revert back to her 20s and slice and dice you?
I thought that Sherry didn't exist no more. See,
I know, but see, I'm just saying. But if you come for me, I gotta get a people what they want. If you come for me,
Leonard, where's the love?
Come for me.
Hold on, Sherry. Leonard, where's the love, brother? Help me out. Let's get this train back on the track. What with love and kindness have I drawn with thee? Somewhere I read that. What the love right now, Leonard? I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling
it. Love has a better chance when lust ain't involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because a lot of times it's lust.
Mm-hmm.
It's the lust that causes the problems.
Mm-hmm.
And like some people will say, love. I like what the caller was saying, because she constantly said her love.
Yeah.
And how she feels and what she does. Because see, that's ownership for that.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't trying to blame it on what she said. When I love like this. Christians get in the habit of saying that their love is God's love when it ain't.
Mm-hmm.
We love to believe that.
Let me ask you this question real quick, Leonard, before you finish your thought. Listening to what Latanya was saying, and Latanya, she put a lot out there. Do you think Latanya hurt you, man?
No.
You don't think she'll hurt you?
No, I think you get what you deserve.
And sometimes it means that you deserve to be hurt.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I tell a story real quick?
Absolutely. Go ahead. We got a caller. Go to the caller after you. Go ahead.
Tanya, do you remember? Yeah. I think it was our sophomore or junior year over at our high school. I can't say the name because for privacy reasons, we can't say certain names. Okay. Do you remember when somebody upset you so bad that you took off your belt and started whipping them with the belt?
Yes, ma'am. Because I was bullied back in the day, and I got so tired of being bullied, and I had to defend myself because this person was like 4 times my size. So I needed a butt whooping.
That's an old-fashioned butt whooping right there.
So you became the mom and the dad. You became the mom and the dad.
Telling that story.
Yeah, I became the mom and the daddy. Then she came to my house looking for me with a bat, and I was like, well, how we gonna handle this? And my mom and daddy came outside, so it's just things like that,
Right.
It's
Tag team.
That's another thing. So that's
Anyhow,
crazy, but
Hold on. Let me go. Let me go to the caller. I got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Bishop. Good morning.
Good morning, Bishop.
Good morning, Bishop. Hey.
morning.
Bishop. Well, we asked the question, Bishop. We asked the question: how thin is the line between love and hate? How thin is the line between love and hate?
It is very thin. I hear people sometimes say, "I can't stand them. I can't stand them." I say, "Well, what they do? But they ain't did nothing." I said, "Well, you can't stand them. That means you hate them." Well, I don't hate them. Well, you say you can't stand them. Looking at how you carrying on right now, it's a strong demonstration of your dislike for the person.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't hate them. So how you know you don't hate them? You'll be getting ready to dog them out.
Mm-hmm.
So it is such a thin line, and most people are upset with people or carry on with folks, and they don't even know why they're doing it. It's just something about him or something about her I just don't like.
Mm-hmm.
But you haven't had a decent conversation with them to even get to know them.
Mm-hmm.
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
After we've been talking about the love-hate thing or what have you, and my concern really is for people who may not be aware. I guess there are still people like that who are completely innocent,
Absolutely,
and don't have a clue.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the rules were in place in older generations is because of this.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we have larger problems in our community with relationships is because, one, we no longer have rules.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a woman was less likely to get hurt by a man if she followed the steps of courtship.
Mm-hmm.
If you there are a lot of people, if you're just going out and a lot of Christians try not to talk about it, but if you're just dating, what does that entail?
Mm-hmm.
What does that really? Because when the world is dating, they're screwing. What are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
So, just because you put ChristianSingles.com on the label, don't mean you ain't still doing and carrying on like sinners do.
Mm-hmm.
And see, you can't hope something good from that situation, especially if what it's built on is such casual relationship like that.
Yeah.
So one, and when women can be pretty demanding, and I think I've seen it a lot of times in the. Do you love a woman? Wag, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love, honey? If you got to ask that many times, he don't.
Yeah. Exactly.
Something wrong with you if you constantly harping on you love me, you love me, you love me, you love me, you love me. What is it, man? I mean, what is your problem?
And that's good. And Donald, let me come to you, Donald. I'm asking you this question. Do we sometimes look for love? And I addressed it slightly earlier, but I didn't go in deep into it. Donald, do we sometimes look for love in all the wrong places?
Yeah. First of all, the first thing we seek, let me just throw it out here. And the first thing happens is actually just me. Come when you meet a person, it's the lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh, and pride of life sets in. And you go from there. Most, not all the time, but we don't ask God nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But we just go for what we know. I can't understand for nothing in the world how you can have so much of a feeling, for somebody. And when you discover that y'all not meant for each other, those same two people do all they possibly can to destroy each other's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a thin line between love and hate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And that's exactly what it is right there. Sherry, what do you say to that? Kurt, come to you next.
Yes, I wanted to piggyback off of what Leonard was saying. Like he was talking about the Christian groups and stuff, and how people, say on there saying they're Christians, but yet they're doing what's in the world. Like I remember I'm not gonna say who it was, had invited me to a Christian group, and I was just like, okay, whatever. I use it. Okay, I can use, a conversation here and there. I got on there, and it's like after a day and a half, I deleted the website. These women were hunting men like sports. It was almost like 15 men on there and 2,000 women, and they were posting pictures. This guy was like, drop a picture of yourself. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking at these pictures. They posting pictures on the website like they were at the club taking a butt picture. You know how like you facing backwards, your back of your body is showing, and you turn your head, you smile, you put up the peace sign, or you squat it down and you posting it on Facebook. It's supposed to be a Christian site, and you seeking to meet another nice Christian, but these pictures are not what it seemed. And I'm like, I'm so confused, and I'm like, okay, you want love, you want this, but your actions to get it is not aligned with love. That's lust. And it tripped me out. And then one person was bold enough to be laying across her court, like at an auto show, how they do at the auto show, and had a picture taken of her. She put it on the website. I don't understand the word love is being used in vain. It's being used in vain. You say you love, but you really don't love. It's straight up lust.
That's it. It.
It's used in vain. You're taking the word and you're using it in vain, and it's not right. Do you really love the person? No, you think it is. That's why when you come in contact with someone, when you jump the gun and you step into that arena, the bedroom, without actually genuinely get to know something, your feelings and your mental, it gets confused. You think you love, but it's not. And I was guilty of that too. I was guilty of that too. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I was guilty of it, but I know better. And I know now when people come and talk to me, like people jump in my DM, like, you so beautiful, this, that, and I'm like, what you want? What you want? And then I had a conversation with Kurt, and he was like, so you want me to tell you how you want me to break it down to you? So he had me telling him what would happen, and then he was like, now stop. Okay, keep going. Now stop. Keep going. And I'm like, why he keep telling me stop? He's like, did you hear what you just said? Now stop. He was like, he's like, that's slicky woo woo, trying to get slicky woo woo. Kurt had me cracking up laughing. I'm like, really? He was like, the moral of the story is stop talking to that fool.
All right, good day. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother?
Both Leonard and Sherry just like said the most powerful one-word description and or definition of what's going on in society. We know that, right?
What's that?
What's going on is you got a bunch of people that are living their lives in lust with the other one. They're shading it with saying, I love this person. Let me tell you something. Pastor Minnie L. Stanley told me. She said, baby, if you're gonna love somebody, you better love them enough to let them go. I looked at her back like, Mama, hold on now. That's my girl. Baby, if you gonna love somebody, you better love them enough to let them go. She said, because let me tell you what real love is.
Come on.
Real love says that no matter what the situation is, all you want to see is that other person happy. And if you know that being with you causes a certain level of misery, then what the hell is wrong with you? That ain't love. That's lust, baby. You're trying to possess another human being. And it has been my belief for the last 47, probably for the last, I want to say 20 years, just to be on the safe side. I have been saying to folk that there is a spirit, there is a demonic spirit of possession that's moving around not America, but the earth, where people are getting involved in relationships, not even realizing I have to be involved with this person, not possess this person. Who wants to feel like property?
Good deal. Let's keep this thing going. Latanya, what's on your heart?
Wow, that's deep. that is very, very deep about that baby, because my mom would say to me, baby, you can't love somebody that don't want to be loved. That's how we go back to that old school, because I'm learning that for myself, to be honest with you. I give so much love, but when someone don't love you back, or don't know how to love you back, you got to keep it moving, because we're going to keep going back to this wall.
Mm-hmm.
I can't teach you how to love.
Yeah.
I can show you.
Mm-hmm.
My actions will show you,
hey,
but
Tanya,
your actions are showing otherwise.
Tanya, let me ask you a question. And we spoke about this briefly during the first hour. Should you have to teach somebody how to love you?
Repeat that again.
Should you have to teach someone how to love you? If they don't know, they say, look, I want to love you the way you want to be loved. So, but teach me how to love you. How would you receive that?
I've had to teach someone how to love me. And
Anna, you okay?
that's a thin line. That's a thin line for me. I don't mind showing someone how to love you, but if you don't grasp it and if you don't receive it, I got to let you go. I can't waste my time on that. I got to keep going to someone else that wants the love. You know, I can't keep just wasting my time on just one person, place, or thing. I got to keep it moving.
What if you still
given.
But what if you still don't find the love that you desire for yourself?
The love for myself, I have love for myself. I've learned to love myself more than anything, because
no. I'm not talking about that you'll have for yourself. I'm not talking about self-love. I'm talking about if you go to the next person and you still don't find the love that you want to receive from someone else. What if you still don't find it?
I'm gonna have to learn how to let it go.
Hey, Raheem.
I'm gonna have
Hey, Raheem.
to let it be and let it go. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. And I'm learning that right now as we speak today. I'm going through that. I have to let it go and let it be.
Yes, Curtis.
And that's a hard thing to do. That's a hard thing to do. I'm gonna be honest with you, from being a human being. That's a hard thing to do.
What's that sister name? Toya, is it?
Tanya.
Tanya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tanya, sweetheart. I don't know if you realize it, but the Spirit of God just moved in the words you just put out, because it's written in the Bible. I want to say it's either Timothy, 1 Timothy, or it could be 2 Chronicles. I could be wrong, y'all. Look, I'm not perfect where I can take you scripture, blah, 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 verbatim. But, and it could be Acts. It's somewhere in that little,
Mark, Luke, John, James.
It's somewhere in that particular section of the Bible I read. That Jesus, that the teaching was, if you go into a town in so many words, and those town folk do not show you the love that you're supposed to get, do not get tarried, do not get upset, do not get your feelings hurt. Dust your shoes off, your shoulders off, put your shoes back on and go on to the next town.
That's Matthew 10.
Where's that at?
Matthew 10.
Oh, I was way off. Well, thanks, bro. I love that, because there's certain things that I read. Like, sometimes we as Christians, we can read the Bible and we read it and we like, the Spirit of God says, and we give all this fire and brimstone, when what the Spirit of God is telling us is rather simplistic. Look, man, get out your feelings. It ain't about, listen, it's not that serious. Just move on. Get on down the road of peace. Go somewhere with all that foolishness now. How often do you look online, right? I'm gonna tell you the thing that I swear disgusts me. and a part of it got to do with race, but a lot of it just got to do with being a human being. I get tired of going online and I see these women in the middle of the street or these dudes in the middle of the street beating each other to a pulp all over a female and or a male. Like, for real, it ain't that serious, y'all.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, but once again, I'll end with this because I know you got to go to somebody else. Once again, those are the results when you got people who are treating people like property as opposed to treating people like this is a human for which God has brought into my life, and hopefully I have found my rib.
Good deal. Let me go to Bishop. And Bishop, what do you say to? Am I accurate when I say a lot of time you have people running around like a little puppy chasing his tail, trying to find something that they don't even know what they're looking for. They're looking for love, but they don't know what love is or what love looked like. So if they ever identified or if it ever stepped in before them, they wouldn't know what it was anyway. Bishop.
Yeah, that is interesting. And you just said it in a nutshell. People are running around here trying to find love, and they don't even know what love really looks like. And a lot of people are misconstrued to think that if, for example, a young lady is familiar with getting her tail whooped by her parents, she runs into a guy, and he don't know how to treat her unless he beating her. And that's what she said. He don't love me because he didn't beat me like my mom and dad. And but yet he's doing all the wonderful things for you, buying you gifts, telling you that you're beautiful. He's willing to drop roses in front of you, rose petals as you walk. But she doesn't appreciate it because she don't really know what love looks like. And this is why people are oftentimes confused and they don't have good, long-lasting relationships because they don't really know what it looks like. But this is the norm. At least he putting groceries on the table, but if he ain't beating me, he don't love me. And it's crazy. So I think someone said they need to learn how to love themselves, and that's one of the key things. You shouldn't accept anything less than respect. And no woman should be out there running around trying to find a man. And I know they say at the end of scarce and ain't nobody coming after me, but just wait. Somebody will seek you out. And when they come, it's gonna be the right person at the right time. We're in a hurry to get into a relationship, man. You're not in a relationship, you're in a hellacious situation. Because the relationship is the ability for us to communicate with each other, be respectful to each other, and do what we can to make sure we're pleasing each other.
That's good. That's good.
So I would say this: everyone's comments are great. I'm listening and I'm learning and I'm loving what everyone is saying because everybody has their perspective on it. And I think you said one time, Raheem, there's no right or wrong in it. It's just understanding.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Donald, what's on your heart, brother? Donald, you there?
Wake up and go to sleep.
Don't go anywhere. I'm pressing the buttons trying to. I was trying to write down something for a change, but this, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Everybody has a notion of how they desire to be loved. But they don't ask God. They don't ask God first. They go looking. And when they can't find it, they're disappointed. And then they try to get God to fix that mess they started. I'm not telling you about nothing that somebody told me. I'm telling you what I know. So we don't seek him first. We don't look at his love and how he loves us and then try to love somebody else. We fix our love and try to put the Bible in it. We try to add God in it in the name of Jesus, guided by the Holy Spirit, but it's all flesh.
Come on.
Yeah. And then we want God to hop in on it. And we get mad with folks because we didn't do it the way that he desired it to be. So I have the tendency to think that I know how I want to be loved, or how I want to love somebody. So I have that thought in mind, and I say, God, help me. And help me while you're helping me.
Mm-hmm.
Help me to stop looking.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In the person, and look in you and seek your guidance, so that you would help me join to the person, with the person that you have desired for my life. Otherwise, I'm riding a roller coaster.
Donna, how do you feel when you hear a woman say, I found my husband?
I'm going to say, I found my husband. My husband is Jesus.
Yeah.
So how that's working out for you?
Mm-hmm.
And they married with every other man.
Yeah.
Because they can't find a relationship. Because, and it's just me, as far as they concerned, the Lord done turned on them, and they don't need a man. They'll be the man then. Matter of fact, I'm going to shut up after I say this. I'm done with him. I'm going to just pick me another woman, and we both going to act like this.
God almighty. Somebody put a sock in his mouth.
What you talking about, Willis?
Exactly. Sherry, what's on your heart, Sherry?
Oh, I had wrote something down. I was thinking about something. When my husband was alive, he used to tell me, I have papers on you. And that while I would brush it off or whatever. Then he turned around and started grabbing me a certain way, like how Trump said, and it made me uncomfortable. And he did it regularly, like, you mad? I got papers on you. And it started making me feel uncomfortable in a certain way. And I realized over time, we just didn't hear things a certain way. He would ask me what I want, and it's like he always gave me what he wanted me to have and not what I desired. And the things went on. It's like I guess when he would do something for me, and it's like kind of like, but that's not what I wanted. You will buy me something I don't like, and it's just like, I guess his attitude started changing. Like, I do all this for you, and then this is what I get. But it's like the connection was gone. It's like I didn't know how to,
Sherry, hold on. Somebody, people that's on the phone line, mute your line for me. We got a lot of background noise coming through. Mute your line for me so we don't have that background noise. Okay, so mute your line for me. Good deal. Go ahead, Sherry.
Yeah, so I mean, my thing of it is that people, they start getting resentful because people treat them a certain way. And I didn't. My thing was that I kept trying to pray nightly to fix the situation, but sometimes that situation is no good and you have to be removed from that situation. Mine was a little bit drastic, but you have to be removed. And then, like, somebody saying that I found my husband, but I thought it was the other way around. A man who finds a wife find a good thing. So why you finding a husband? I mean, because with me, this whole dating thing is weird to me. So I have people coming at me, and it's like, I don't know. They said, somebody told me to enjoy being single. Well, how do I do that when I've been with the same person for 15 years? I don't know how to juggle me, and I don't know. So if you speak to me, I'll speak back. But all this is a whole nother world. I feel like an old person coming out of being locked down for years, and it's like I'm smelling the air, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. It's like a person being locked down in prison for years, and they're institutionalized. And when they come out, they don't know how to cope in this society because it's so different than it was when they went down under. And that's basically how I feel. And I just feel like you get to know people before you start sharing your body, because your feelings get caught up, and that's a spiral down to a rabbit hole. And you can't climb out of it.
Exactly. And not only do women say that I found my husband, in this day and time, I've seen a woman drop down on her knee and propose to a man. I've seen women drop down on their knees with the ring in their hand, talking about, will you marry me? And what is going on with this?
No.
What is happening these days?
Okay, so I'm gonna take it back to the Bible. I don't care what anybody says, as flattering as it may be or whatever. God has ordained an order in your household. Okay. So what are you saying? You're going to take the whole role of the man in the house of what God ordained to be the role of the man in the house, and he's going to do all wifely duties? I'm just saying, there's a triangle there. There's a rope, whatever you want to call it. The three of you guys combined. That man is provider. That man picks you. You don't pick him, and he picks you through God. Because I've been hearing everybody talk. I think I heard Bishop and Donald say it, and now Sherry. That is like the main thing. Like, that's why we're having all these problems with thin line between love and hate and all of this. Because first of all, y'all weren't equally yoked. That's why y'all having all these issues. Because if God would have ordained this, it wouldn't be such an issue. Let's start there. And second of all, if you I can't see myself doing it. I'm sorry. You catch yourself buying a man a ring and getting on your knee and being like, will you marry me? And people videotaping it like they do now. Y'all better not stop talking about me, and y'all better plaster me all over media and be like, look at this fool right here. She done lost her mind. Because there is no way. I'm just being honest.
Leonard, go ahead and pick it up, Leonard. What's on your heart, brother? Go ahead.
Oh man, it was so funny because I was just saying to myself, he don't want you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He does not want you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's so funny because even though we're talking about it, we're making jest of it. I'm gonna put a seed in folks' mind. The only person ever made love was God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even like that whole connotation. Even when I hear it, it don't resonate with me. When somebody say, we was making love. How? How were you doing that? Explain it to me. See how negative we put love in the situation?
Mm-hmm.
Making love now means what? Sex.
Sex. Mm-hmm.
That's how it gets off track. My mother told me a long time ago, just because she give you something don't mean she cared nothing about you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was those types of things. You know, all my father said about, and it was funny because when Kurt said, Big Kurt told him, you know what my daddy told me? This little girl used to come around the corner, play with me all the time. He ride a bike around the corner. And my daddy would look out the window. He said, come here. And he pulled me inside and he said, you know what that's for, right? All right, then go ahead. I was 10. So this is why I'm so big on people following the order, because we get out of order and then we find out later what we lost.
Mm-hmm.
See, the African American community lost marriage this way. That's why these kids are byproducts of lustful relationships.
Absolutely.
That's why you were supposed to be married first in the first place.
Absolutely.
So you could bring children into loving relationships. So if they could watch two people who created them love one another,
absolutely,
then they could replicate that.
Mm-hmm.
Or they would know what it looked like. So we have to really look at that fact and definitely teach those little girls the difference, because they're usually the victims.
Mm-hmm.
And I know people say, well, guys, this guy, be a man, get it together. I'm not big on treating men like women or boys like girls and girls like boys. And that's sick and perverted to me as well. Mm-hmm. But you have to teach men how to be men, because they're supposed to develop and take a certain role.
Mm-hmm.
If you take this out of the plan, we suffer. And it's not up for debate. It has happened to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
In a horrible way.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point now where what does love really mean now? What is love? You got some guys have 3 and 4 women and tell you I love you more because I live with you.
Mm.
So that means I love you more. I pay your bills, so I love you more. You know, these types of things we have to let go. We have to let go this notion that it's somehow okay to take advantage of people by telling them you love them. That's not cool, and it's never been to me, because it could cause a lot of things, man.
Yeah,
like murder. We've talked about it, like murder,
and
violence,
absolutely,
and things of that nature. So I'm of the thought and ideology that love is something that deserves investment and researching and things like that. Women need to stop demanding it, and men need to stop lying about it.
absolutely,
absolutely,
because it's not cool, and especially when you're trying to build a nation, and especially when you're trying to teach love and relationship and marriage and things of that nature. We have to put things in its proper perspective and realize that there is an order to it, whether we like it or not.
Good. We have another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Cassandra Green from Atlanta.
It is the third pastor.
Good morning.
Good
morning.
Cassandra, what we're saying is we're asking a question. How thin is the line between love and hate?
Yeah, it's extremely thin. And was that Leonard talking?
Yes.
Yeah, and he really hit it on the head. But you know, I think what's happening, especially with women, is that we don't respect ourselves. Not when I say we, most women, or a lot of women, don't respect themselves enough that they don't just do anything saying that they're doing it in the name of love. That's first of all, you're fooling yourself, because the person that you're giving yourself to and you're giving your all to, a lot of times the interest is not there. When you have to run somebody down in order, to have a conversation, unless it's booty call time, then you are lessening who you are. It's like, I'm so desperate to have you that I'm willing to lay aside my integrity, my godliness, everything, just so that I can have you lay next to me in my bed. And I think it's a really sad note for women, and we have to do better, and men need to do better, because when women call me, they're like, well, he says he loves me, but he has Shirley and he has Joanne, and well, you think no.
What do you do, Cassandra? Let me ask you this, Cassandra. What do you do when, and we spoke about this earlier, when a person, quote unquote, don't know, and all they've been shown is their uncles had 3 or 4 different women, and uncle tell them stuff like it, and my uncle said this to me one time before, and I didn't understand it then. I understand what he's talking about now, and it's the craziest thing I've ever heard. But he said even the poorest rat have more than one hole to run into.
Yeah. Well, we need to throw all of those little connotations out the window, because it's ridiculous, and you don't have to have. How is it that there are people that marry and are with each other 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, and not cheat? And no, it's a mindset. Especially in our community, it's a mindset. That's why we have so many babies that are born out of wedlock and stuff. It's conquer. It's conquering. How many babies can you have in the hood? How many? What the heck is that? But it's a mentality. These young guys have a mentality that it makes them look like a bigger man. You ain't taking care of them.
Exactly.
You're not taking care of them. The state is taking care of them. So I just have, I have an issue with just the way that the love is perceived. And the only real love we can have, I believe the real love that we can have is agape love, coupled with eros, when it comes to couples, when it comes to men and women. And that needs to be within the confines of marriage.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So anyway, but
let me do this. Let me do this before we move on. I'm going to go to LaTanya. I know she got something on her heart as well, but Cassandra, tell them what we say the thug pastor. Tell them what thug stands for. So, you know, just in case somebody tuning in the first time, what does it stand for?
It's the help you give, because I'm a giver. I'm a helper. So it's the help you give. It has nothing to do with me. I am sort of
Lord. See, don't stop right there, Cassandra. See, you did so good. Now you let's stay right there, because I ain't want people,
all right, I'm gonna stop right there.
I ain't want people to think that, you know, it's their first time doing it, and I see the thug pastor. I want to make sure they understand exactly what we're talking about.
No, but it's the truth. I will fight you though now, so don't be playing. Cassandra, I'm just kidding. I won't.
I try to get you to stop, Cassandra. Good, my Lord. Latanya, what's on your heart? Latanya, what's on your heart? See how you acting up? Look, can't get you like, look, every time it goes somewhere, you act up. Every time it goes somewhere, you act up. Look, Tanya, are you there?
Yes. Are you saying Tanya or Cassandra?
Latanya.
Yes. What's the question?
What's on your heart right now? We cover so much, and it's actually about time for us to get out of here. But what's on your heart right now?
On my heart, as far as what, husband-wise, or just in general, as we wrapping it up?
In general, as we wrapping it up.
I just, for me, I just hope people in the world can learn how to love someone the way that they would want to be loved, because I don't do that fake love. That fake love, you can keep that. If it's not real, if it's not natural, if it's not authentic, if it's just to get something out of someone and you throwing that word love around, don't throw that word around. That's a very delicate word. Don't just use it for your own selfish needs, because at the end of the day, you gotta lay down and go to bed at night with what's on your heart. I know, for me, how I love and how I want someone to love me back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you how I want to be loved, and if you don't give it back to me the way I give it to you, I gotta let you go. Because when I love you, I'm gonna love you with my heart. I'm gonna love you 100%.
That's good. That's
you
good.
Understand?
That's good.
And put God first. If you don't have God in the picture at all, you're not going to succeed in life at all.
Absolutely.
You're going to keep coming back to this miserable place. Hatred. Hate. You know? So you got to fill that void with God. God loves everybody. God is love.
Good deal. Good deal.
You know?
Curtis. Good. If you're in a situation, and we're going to wrap it up and get on out of here. I keep saying it, man, but we got to go. If you're in a situation whereas you're loving a person, you're giving them all that you got. You're giving them all that you got. And then you look at the situation as to what they're giving you, and you know that they're loving you with all that they have, but it's not enough for what you want. Now, if they're giving you all that they have, would that be enough for you, or would there be a part of you that still yearn to have more, to have more, to have more?
No, man. If I did that, then my love is false and it has no genuine sense of reality. You know, every once in a while, we have these conversations, and as crazy as this may sound, I'm reminded of things that Tupac literally said out his mouth. And there's this one instance where he talked about us being takers. And in the interview, in the discussion, he was like, if you want to be like Trump, take, and never give, then basically, what are you doing to society? You know what I mean? I've dealt with kids for the last 25 years, at-risk youth, you know what I mean? Cognitive, mental disabilities and stuff like that. And one of the things that I've always had to put out is because you always wind up having a conversation about if your family loves you or if they don't, and blah, blah, blah. And I've always put it out there. Listen, son, listen, young lady, what are you giving to your family and or society? If all your life is all about take, you have gave nothing, you know. So that whole space right there, Raheem, me personally, I recommend to people that, look, if your significant other is giving everything that they have, be, you know, have some common decency, man. And say, you know what? They giving all they got. They don't have no more to give. And if that's the case and you're not happy, look, I gotta move on. But you can't beat them up and browbeat them because they can't give you that additional thing. They don't have it to give to you.
Yeah.
They don't have it. Now, in most cases, if that goes down like that, what'll happen is there's a good chance that person may kick into gear and try and work towards being able to give you that. But now what really happens in your scenario,
how do you discover something that you never experienced before? How do you reach? How does a person reach within themselves and pull something out that they don't feel or is not there? How do you get that?
Because you have to exist in that level of truth. The truth says, you know what? I can't get that. See, one of the hardest things for the human race to do, black, white, and or candy stripe, is to admit that they can't do something. I don't know why that is. I don't know when that started. There used to be a time if we couldn't do something, we would just come out and say, you know what? I don't know how to do that. Do you know how to teach me? We done gotten so up in our own booty hole that we can't admit, I don't know. Listen, it has almost become a crime, Raheem, when you think about it. It has almost become a social crime to say, I don't know.
Yeah, good deal. Hold on, let's keep this in. We got to get on out of here. Anna, what's on your heart? Anna, stop laughing. What's on your heart?
Oh, wow, this has been a great broadcast. But there are still people like that, Kurt. I want you to know, and I constantly say it to people around me, if I'm doing something or if there's something that you can show me, I want to learn. And anybody around me does know, so that's not, for everybody. I also wanted to read something real quick from Mr. Vasquez from the other account. It says, plain and simple, as good and the bad, decisions and choices. And remember, looks can be very deceiving. Do not rush into what can be your biggest mistake. Time will be your best friend on anything you do. Remember to put God over everything. And I think that that's the most important thing for Raheem. He has the bestest wife in the whole wide world, and he always brags about her, and he's absolutely right to do it. And for the rest of us as well. I just please ask each and every one of you guys to follow God, to follow God's. This is a Christian station, so I can say it and say it, boisterous. Follow God's plan, follow God's law. If you don't, you're going to have you're going to have that very movie happening in your life. You're going to get played, you're going to get used, you're going to get abused, because if you just wait, and that man is going to show you, and this is for you women, that man is going to show you and make everything possible to conquer you. Believe that. You don't have to do much. It's going to come naturally. So just keep that in mind. And you fellas, please stop making babies. I have friends I went to school with, and Tanya can vouch for this. 13 kids. Really? 13 kids?
That's a baseball team and a couple of substitutes.
Yes. That's like, how you taking care of these kids? There's no way. Shoot. I can't afford that many kids. You know you're not taking care of them kids. Y'all need, and Leonard couldn't have said it better. Please, you guys, rewind this show and listen to what Leonard said, because it's true. You men need to also take responsibility and do what's right for these kids and for these women and by these women. And girls, don't just fall for anything that any man says, and put God first. And I promise you things will work out. Love y'all.
Good deal. Donald, what's on your heart right now, brother? Bishop coming to you next.
curious. I was curious to see how this would turn out. There you go.
Yes, sir.
I think that some see a little clearly. Hopefully, we see a little clearly that you can't do it without consulting God. Yeah, you're not going to be able to accomplish it.
Exactly.
And quit looking for love in all places.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bishop, what's on your heart, Bishop?
Comments were excellent. Another good topic the Lord laid on your heart to bring for discussion. And it is so true. Don't you stop looking for love in all the wrong places and all the wrong faces. And please hold true to what Leonard said, Anna said, and anyone that's relates to going out there laying up and getting a bunch of babies. And then you got to come back to the system. He loved you. He loved you while he was making love to you. I bet you ain't done nothing to him.
Yeah.
So take under consideration yourself, value yourself. And if you ever run into a guy and he's abusing you, disrespecting you, and he say he love you, don't believe it.
No.
So love yourself well enough to get away from somebody like that. Again, great show, Raheem. Appreciate you. Appreciate God using you.
Yes, sir.
And all these great hosts that make comments. Everything was beautiful.
Good deal. Sherry, what's on your heart quick before we get out of here?
I just want to say I love everybody, and I feel love. I love you. I love Anna. I love Kurt. I love Leonard. I love Christy. I love Bishop, and I love Donald and Cassandra. I love everybody. Give yourself a.
Now, can you open your eyes when you say that?
I'm sorry, I was dozing off. I'm so sleepy. I've been up since like 2 a.m. I was up talking to Anna.
I think she was really thinking about her bed when she talking about she loved it.
Exactly.
Think about that bed.
In my pillow.
Cassandra,
Cassandra,
let me ask you this question. A lot of times people say they're in love, and the person that they're with is living the words of this song right here. You probably remember the OJs back in the day. Your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. How often people get caught up? How do people get caught up in that scenario? Your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town. You're messing me around.
Yeah, I mean that's like everyday conversation. We just have to realize that, first of all, stop expecting things from people that they can't give you. That's a huge problem with people. You want someone to give you something that they don't have. How do I give you what I don't have?
Yes.
And so if their mind is on the other side of town, then I need their body to go right on over to the other side of town. So, just carry on. But it's so hard for people to do that, to let go. But you know that person's mind is not with you. Their heart is not with you. Why is your body over here? You need all of them to be together. So carry on.
Exactly. It's been a great broadcast, y'all. Thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for participating. Thank everybody for tuning in. And more than that, thank you for
Hi, Bishop.
Hi, Bishop.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said hi, Bishop.
Hey, how you doing?
I just want to say hi.
What just happened?
Ooh. They say hi to Bishop because that Bishop is Bishop.
Oh my Lord. Bishop, see what you got going on around here, Bishop. See what you got going on around here. Wow.
Bishop.
It's just love being disseminated, bro.
There you go.
That's right. That's the real love. That's right.
There you go. But listen, Anna, what's going on at 3 o'clock today?
At 3 o'clock, if you miss a show, which you don't want to miss, you can hear it again in its entirety at www.dkmradio.com. See y'all then.
Good deal. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. More than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Radio and the Morning Glow to be a part of your morning. It is now 9:19. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody, and give them a hug because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Now we shine some of this light on you for the morning glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. Let me see who we're gonna get the prayers out today. Bishop, no, you know what? Let me. Tanya, are you with us? Tanya, done. Let me see. Tanya, you still with us? She ain't saying.
I'm still here.
Okay, Tanya, I want you to pray us out today. Can you pray us out?
Sure, I can pray you out. Let me clear my throat a little bit.
Let me clear
my throat.
All right. Let me clear my throat. All right. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you today for even allowing me to even come in contact with this wonderful phone conference that we just had, which was very well received. I thank you for all the panel that's on the phone right now. I just put it out there in the universe, Lord, that we all can love more and not hate so much, because there's so much hatred out there in the world right now. Dear God, we need to learn how to love one another and stop hating one another over money, relationships, sex, whatever it is, dear God. We just ask that you just fill our hearts up with love, compassionate integrity, and just keep faith. Just keep us going through this world that we're going through right now. We don't know one day to the next, but what we do know is that you will never give up on us, and you will always, always keep us in your heart. We can always call you. You will never hang up the phone on us. You're always there. You're our comforter. You're our counsel. You're our father. You're our friend. You're everything to us, dear God. I bless you. I bless everybody that's on this phone. I ask you, dear God, to give us strength, give us courage to keep going in this world. It's not easy. It's not easy for nobody, dear God. We love you so much. We love you. We love you. We love you. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
That's a preacher right there, boy. That's a preacher right there, boy. That's a
lady. Call me later.
Good deal. Well, we're about to get out of here for today, and it is again, it's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us and allowing us to be a part of your day. Don't forget, we got a lot of our broadcasting going on, and DKM Media Group and Associates. DKM Media Group and Associates. Y'all make sure that y'all stay locked in with us. And if you need prayer, Anna, tell them how they could get prayer.
So if you have a prayer request, please log into, we're still transitioning, so you could still use www.dkmradio.com. Push the button for prayer requests, list your prayer, whatever, and we will be praying for you, or we will call you back and pray with you, or, we will do whatever it is that you please for us to do. En español, si tienen una petición para oración, por favor, háganla al www.dkm.radio.com. Entonces ahí oprimen la opción para la oración, entonces ahí lo firman. Si no, si se confunden en cómo hacerlo, por favor llámenme a mí y yo los ayudo para que oren. El 321-252-8084, y queremos especialmente con la situación que está pasando con el COVID-19, queremos orar por ustedes. O por favor, denos su petición y estaremos con ustedes y estaremos orando con ustedes, porque para eso somos una estación cristiana. Dios los cuide, Dios los bendiga, and may God bless each and every one of you guys. Love y'all.
Good deal. Have a great day, y'all. Love you, and take an opportunity.
Love y'all too.
Take time
Bye.
and love someone else.
Love y'all, man. Y'all be good.
Love y'all too. Bye-bye.
Bless you all.